Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be taking a Nintendo Entertainment System and turning it into a piece of art. Last week we made the Link-themed Nintendo Entertainment System. This time around we're going to be making the companion piece, the Princess Zelda Nintendo Entertainment System. Check it out. Alright, here's our first victim, a Nintendo Entertainment System released in North America in October of 1985. With its 90-degree angles and flat surfaces, it's clearly created by its designers to become the ultimate 2022 YouTube art canvas. Obviously, before we can get to work on our beautifying process, we have to gut this little darling and get to the creamy nougat center. Like many classic confectionaries of the past, it takes several licks to get to the center. And to do so, we'll be using 2 and 0 Phillips style screwdrivers. Those are the only ones really needed for this entire process. Every console Nintendo put out after this required special security bits, or gaming bits as they're often called, to access under the hood. Using a spudger or your fingernail, you can uncouple these connector pieces and get some of these little morsels apart. Here we use our spudger to remove the rubber feet. We put these aside for later, and using a hairdryer we can heat the labels off on the sides and bottom. I saved the stickers in a binder as a collection of the trophies of all the many consoles I've had the pleasure of tearing apart over the years. No, you may not see the binder. I made the binder up. They're actually in a pile in a tiny little drawer in the corner, sitting there awaiting the day when they will all be combined into the shiny suit that I will use to shield myself from radiation after the machines rise up and destroy the world. Boy, are they going to be unhappy with me. Now we're going to need to rough this baby up in order to get some adhesion for our prime coat. We'll be using a 320 grit. A friend of mine likes to hear the sped up sounds of sanding, so this one's for you, Blue. Now we need to get these guys washed up and masked off to begin the prime coat. I used the feet as a stencil to cover the legs. There is a bit of adhesion left over from when I removed the feet. We'll be utilizing that later. Make sure to cover those posts as well. We want the door to go back in just as it was. Time for prime. Prime time! When that's dry, we do a bit more sanding to knock down all the bumps and burrs. Then we lay on our undercoat of gold. Now we can get to the fun part of the masking. A few different widths of tape here. We start with a buffer line to create a space from the edge. Every other one after that will be the spacer for where the gold will go. When these are all in place, we remove the spacer lines to reveal our template. I drew up some filigree stencils on masking tape and backed them with wax paper. When it's all said and done, I'll outline all these in black to make them pop a little bit more. Let's throw in a Triforce there. This will be a part of a little surprise that we'll see later on. Time for our main color. On the last project, I may have laid the paint on a little bit thick. Another factor which was likely the main contributor to the flaws in our last piece was letting it cure for too long. It sat with us masking the entire art process. When it came down to pulling the tape, most of the lines were jagged and chunky. I liked the result, but it was too much, so I had painted some more filigree to cover the larger imperfections. Now we need to choose our art. Here we have Her Royal Highness after we realize that she is the reincarnation of the goddess, but I prefer the other outfit in this game, the one she started out with. These colors just pop way more, so from the neck down I'll be combining these two pieces together. I created this as my final reference and stencil piece. I'll be manipulating a lot of the structure and dimensions as we go. We're going to be doing a bunch of beautifying at this point, so I'll just turn up the music and let you guys enjoy for a little while.
You down, so sorry, I got better things to do. Sometimes we put up a front end, we might rub you the wrong way, but I've got more friends than enemies. If you wanna know our secrets, the heart just come on down to the bar, sing a song and join us for a brew. What we do all day, the piece of life you can fit it right away. Tip your cup and check the attitude. It's okay, you can go ahead and check the attitude. There's a bunch of good guys hanging around and have some drinks. Flip cups is ruled by the walls, man. Machiavelli is rolling up in his van with a Twixer of fireball in his hand. Lots of ladies are looking for some fun. Maybe some girl thinks that you are the one. See you standing there wondering what to do. If you wanna know our secrets, the heart is come on down to the bar. Sing a song and join us for a brew. This is what we do all day. We'll be surprised if you fit in right away. Take a cup and check the attitude. Check the attitude. turned out she may. You know I can't refuse the repetitive beat of our town. Even if you don't know how, feed off the crowd. Now the idiots are coming in waves. When the whole thing's over, you won't find me sober. I'll run right into your face. And I want things to always be this way. I wouldn't have it any other way, my friend. When I'm staring at you, I want to do it again and again and all over again. Yesterday, I questioned all the sad things. Ragging on my life.
For the harp strings, I decided to use a masking trick. I could have just hand painted these in, but seeing as the canvas is very white, making a mistake may have resulted in staining the area while cleaning the flaws away.
I take where I go. Nowadays, I'll never be alone. This place that I'm calling my home. I won't back down, give up, I won't give in. 'Cause I'm stuck.
When all the art is done, we need to saturate our little friend in another layer of clear coat. After it cures a bit, we'll sand it again. Add more clear coat. Sand it again. From here, we slather the whole girl with a whole bunch of polishing compound.
Walking through a hallway at night, living a life not knowing I'm a living dead. I get on the feet that
I use a wool covered Dremel tip to polish the whole thing up. We're going to be replacing the power indicator from a red one to a blue one. So we'll just clip out the old ones, desolder the old posts, and with a little bit of manipulation we'll get this new one in place, solder the legs, and clip away the excess.
I stick a knife in your eye, you ask me why, I just smile and look at you. I can write a poem.
Time for reassembly. There's not much to it. It's important to make sure you don't get the wires caught between the board and the screw posts. Remember, when screwing metal screws into plastic, it's important to back turn until it drops into place. You'll usually hear a little clicking sound, then continue forward with the tightening. Sometimes tightening down the screws too tightly on the cartridge cradle can prevent the push lock mechanism from engaging, so be wary of that. After this, we just reattach the top of the shell and we're ready for our photo shoot.
It didn't matter what they say. I knew the real you, and some things the people that can't let go. It's not for nothing. It's not hard to comprehend. Knowing living for yourself keeps you from falling off the edge, but not the people like you and me.
Alright everyone, that's my video. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video, hit the subscribe, like button, eat some nachos, walk an elderly person across the street. I have other videos on this channel, so check those out. I have more videos coming soon. You can find me on Instagram at Artist Wilkins, and I have some pieces available on my Etsy at Wilkins Custom Art. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.